When you walk through a cemetery, there's connotations. Those cemeteries are scary places, or places of sadness. But really, they're places of life because these were lives once lived by all these people. And what you have there is you have monuments, you have gravestones, but these are memorials to each of those people. The one thing that is common on gravestones is a birth date and a death date. But really, the most important piece of that monument is the dash in between the birth date and the death date. That's the life that was lived.
I have a pretty cool job here at Mount Olivet Cemetery. As the historian and preservation manager, I get to welcome visitors and help them if it's a genealogy pursuit or perhaps they're just a tombstone tourist. They like visiting historic cemeteries. But the thing that really drives me is the opportunity to learn about the people who are buried here.
I write a weekly blog called Stories in Stone, in which I try to bring people back their life stories. Going into COVID was very interesting. I went back into history to the year of 1918. In the fall of 1918 is when we had the Spanish influenza. What we call the Spanish flu or the Spanish influenza was a respiratory virus. How it got its name, the Spanish flu. It appeared in Spain and affected 500 million people worldwide. And that's even kind of just a rough number. It was more of a mild situation where people just pretty much had fever, chills, fatigue. But when it came back with a vengeance in the fall of 1918, that's where it was a deadly killer. At that time in 1918, we were in the midst of World War I, and a lot of the soldiers spread the flu as they were in close quarters, transport ships and planes, in the trenches, so to speak. Within days of acquiring the virus, their skin turned blue and their lungs filled with fluid, and they died. So it was a real bad situation. It had really amped up from the spring to the fall. In terms of the Spanish flu, there was no vaccine. People just had to get over it. By late winter, it had run its course and we were over it. So surreal to kind of look back that this had happened once before and that people were social distancing. People were told not to spit. Schools were closed. Churches were closed. They canceled for the first time our great Frederick Fair. So it was really interesting to kind of think this isn't novel. Maybe this is new in our lifetime here dealing with COVID. But these people dealt with it 100 years before. And what are the lessons to learn from what they did? We can always learn lessons from the past. The past is definitely a roadmap for the future.